Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Itzik Alvas, co-founder and CEO at Entro Security. Itzik, welcome to the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, it's great having you here. Let's kick this off. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I'm Itzik Alvas. I'm currently the CEO of Entro Security. Entro is the secret security platform. Started my cybersecurity journey. So I'm a cybersecurity guy. Started my cybersecurity journey about 18 years ago at the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, on the offensive side. And then after a few years over there, been working on the defensive side for several companies. So prior of Entro Security, I was in charge of the internal security of Microsoft, the Defender for Azure. And then prior to that, I was a CIS Chief Information Security Officer for an healthcare organization. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So technical background, security background. And yeah, so let's talk about Entro Security. Tell us what products or services Entro offers.
Yeah, so just the headlines. So yeah, as mentioned, secret security and secrets are for folks that are not familiar with that. Secrets are essentially programmatic access keys. So those are credentials that applications are using in order to access and authenticate against infrastructure or other applications such as databases or storage accounts, and etc. So if the application needs to authenticate against those, they need a key, and those keys are usually created and handled by teams that are not responsible to secure them. So they are being handled by developers or DevOps and so forth, and they scatter those secrets around. And the main problem is that, security teams doesn't really have any idea of how many secrets they have and where are they, because those secrets are being committed into code. They are being sent over Slack or Teams or within Wikipedias and so forth. So, trying to understand how many secrets we have and where are them, that's a true challenge. And then even if you find one, it's a long thing. So getting any sort of information about it, who created it, when, why, what application is using it to access what service, you have no idea. So a bit about, the latest reports by IBM and Verizon. Secrets targeted attacks for the past 4 years in a row are one of the top three attack vectors in terms of frequency, and the number one most costly attack to an organization, actually averaging on $4.6 million per attack. So yeah, organizations should do something with that. And we offer a complete holistic solution around secret security. So we are able to find all of the secrets and basically provide a secret inventory. Then serve the question of how many secrets we have, where are they, and then we are able to classify and enrich each secret and visualize the map around it of which application is using what secret, to access what service, when it was created, what permission it got, and so forth. And then we also continuously monitoring those secrets for any abnormal behaviors. So if your secrets are being used from China and you don't have a business over there, I guess you would like to be alerted about that. And we have some other pillars as well. So it's an holistic secret security platform for security teams.
Yeah, and that makes a ton of sense. I know I've been asked tons of times by developers or some of my developers I've worked with, like, hey, generate that secret key, that secret API key, send it to me. And then sometimes, right, the only way to get it back if you don't save it somewhere is to regenerate a key, which then, right, you got to pass on again. So
Exactly.
yeah, that makes a ton of sense with all I could just imagine all those keys floating around there are saved in a Word document or a Google Sheet, but they've got to be a lot safer. So that makes a ton of sense. So who are you reaching out to then to sell your solution? Is it to the engineers? Is it to the CTO? Who you're trying to reach to prospect?
Yeah. So usually we're going on, you know, it's a solution for security teams. We're completely out of the end. So no impact whatsoever to the engineering team. The engineers can keep, hopefully not, but sharing keys and do whatever they are doing. And we will keep the secrets secure and compliant for security teams. So usually we are targeting security and CISOs, CISO, the chief information security officers, or so that's the buyer. But then usually the users are the security, application security, incident response teams. So people, usually employees that are reporting to the CISO.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And then what industries are you targeting here? Is this anyone who has a security team develop, who has to keep these keys? Like, is it, of course, tech companies? Who are you targeting for your solution?
Yeah. So, you said it yourself, tech companies or software companies, they are, it's a great vertical for us because essentially, every company that has internal development have tons of secrets and they can all use our solution. But then as you correctly mentioned, software security, it's their entire business, right? So they have lots of developers, lots of secrets. So that's an obvious one for us, especially those that have been through an hyper growth stage. So they used to be a startup, they developed really fast, they have secrets everywhere, they grew up really fast. And now, they have a security plan, a CISO, they need to contain, yeah, that risk. So that's a great vertical for us, but we are seeing other verticals. We are getting great traction from hospitals and then, health and fintech and finance, insurance, hospitality and travel. So yeah, it's basically a solution that can fit every company with internal development.
And do you see any sort of threshold as far as the size of the company, right? Maybe that SaaS company with the co-founder CTO who's, generating these keys, where it's early stage, or do they have to have a security team before they're a good potential fit for your product?
Yeah, I mean, usually again, the solution, the platform is tailored for security teams. We are seeing users from other departments, such as the R&D teams. So, developers are using us, DevOps are using us, but it's a solution for security teams. So, yeah, you will need to have some sort of security department, usually prior of, buying or evaluating it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, yeah, seems like quite the niche. And so what year did you found Entro?
Yeah, so we've started. So, and I'm saying Adam, my co-founder and CTO. So we started security at 2022, actually. So I, used to leverage secrets back in the day on the offensive side. And then when I was a CISO, I was breached by using a secret. And then at Microsoft, we were breached twice using a secret when I was responsible for the security over there. And it was like straightforward kind of thing. I searched for a solution, couldn't find one. So I reached to Adam and he was working for Broadcom. And I was like, hey, Adam, what do you guys are doing for secret security? Because I'm getting breached all day long. And we thought about it and basically started Intro.
And did you say found it was founded in 2022?
Yeah.
2022. Okay. Okay. And have co-founder. And then do you have a physical location or are you all virtual?
Yeah, we have two branches. So the R&D side, the R&D side are based in Tel Aviv in Israel, and then the go-to-market teams are based out of the US, but the main office is in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Okay. Perfect. And then tell us, what's your current team size?
So we're about 20, a bit over 20 right now.
Okay. So about 20 staff. And then anything you want to share around revenue ranges or ARR ranges?
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go into the exact numbers, but we are seeing a lot of traction. So we have customers all over the US and then some in Europe. We are targeting the North American market, and we're seeing great traction over there. And then, yeah, we have some in England and other parts of Europe as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And then tell us a little bit more about your go-to-market motion. How are you finding these security teams? Is it a traditional outbound sales led motion? Tell us a little bit about how you're prospecting.
Yeah, so we have our inbounds, and then we have the outreach SDR. So we have an SDR team, and we're doing a lot of outbounds, and then we have some summits in which I guess it's outbound as well, right? It's not sort of an inbound motion. So yeah, we're currently selling direct. We're just now initiating our channels, but currently we are selling direct. So we have an SDR motion and outreach motion. And then, we're advertising on LinkedIn and other places, Google and etc. So we have an inbound motion as well. But our main one is currently the DRs and summits and etc. The outbound one.
And tell me a little bit about your sales cycle. I mean, this seems like a very easy explanation to a prospect about the, security around API keys. So, do you have a pretty quick sales cycle? Do you know, on average, how long does your sales cycle last?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's, it can always be quicker. It ought to be like 1 hour, maybe 15 minutes. Uh, uh, s- yeah, the usual flow is you have a discovery call, trying to figure out if that's a problem they have, and usually that's the case. And then what they are currently doing with that, how painful it is, and etc. A discovery call. And then usually we have another meeting, this time with a broader team, showing a demo, showing our platform, answering a few questions and etc. And then we will have the POC or evaluation portion of it. And that can take up to 2 weeks. So we have a very, very fast onboarding, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, and you're fully onboarded. We're completely SaaS. The integrations are super easy. Click of a button. So yeah, and once we are onboarded, within a few hours after the scanning, it's like a Christmas tree that lights up because again, secrets are pretty much everywhere, and we can find, secrets that are publicly exposed and grants access to your most sensitive database and etc. So yeah, we give them like a couple of weeks, sometimes a bit longer, to run the POC. And then you will have your legal and procurement and so forth. So it can take a while, but I think, our best aspect of it is that it's a very low friction to onboard. And then you are getting findings and reports usually within a couple of hours after the onboarding.
That's great. So it sounds like really fast time to value. Once onboarded, then yeah, they're going to see results right away. And then yeah, love that. So let's switch to the capital side. How much capital have you raised today for Entro?
Yeah, so we're running on seed money. So we raised 6 million, two main venture, stage one, and then hyperwise. So they are cybersecurity focused ventures that are based out of Israel. And then, we have some angels that were part of this round. So the founders of and then Transmit Security and etc. So great angels.
And tell us, for that seed round, so 6 million raised. What was the sequence of events? Did you have an MVP? Did you have a product that you were selling when you raised that seed round?
Yeah, I it's a lot of legworks. So you need to accomplish a lot. So I think I'm gonna stick with the must-haves, and then we can probably do an entire episode about that, or maybe a couple, because yeah, it's a lot. I think the main one is when first Adam and I met, and I was like, "Hey, what are you doing for security? It's a real issue. I can find any solution out there." So we sat at a coffee place, and then we started to bounce ideas, and we thought we had a solution, right? And then we started, to validate that solution. So the validation portion is the most critical one, at least in my opinion. So we started, opening on Zoom calls and meetings with CISOs and directors of application security or cloud security and go so forth. And no one liked our solution. They were like, "Hey, no, I'm not gonna use that. I agree there's a problem. It's a real problem. I suffer for that, but your solution is not what we need." And from those calls and from those feedbacks, we actually, change our entire solution into what employees today, get an inventory of secrets, classify them, enrich them, understand what they can do, and then, continuously monitor them, which makes total sense, right? But that's not what we had in mind. So I think we validated the new solution, the current one, with over 200 different CISOs and directors of information security. And then using that validation, and after completely changing our solution, we went, to venture capitals and basically said, "Hey, you can call each one of those 200 people," and they will say, "Hey, I'm gonna validate the problem for you. I'm gonna validate the solution, and it's a solution that can would exist, I would buy that. And using that validation, we actually were able to raise the needed funds. But, it's very highlight. There's a lot to do.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot to discuss there, but it sounded like so you started with an idea, started validating the idea. People are like, no, I would not buy that. Iterated on that idea, made a bunch of calls, and then started getting some validation through these calls, and then went to VCs for some fundraising. So it sounds like you had validation, the concept, the idea, but no, say, product in hand yet when you went for funding.
No, it's maybe yeah. So again, we validated the problem. We understand there's a real problem in the market. It's not only Adam and myself. It's not only me that thinks there's a problem. And then we had a first idea of a solution. It was, if you are familiar with Vaults, a secrets storage place. So we thought, we may need to improve vaulting, and we try to validate that solution. So Vaults, and then people didn't really like that. So we completely changed our solution into what Entro is doing today. And then we validated Entro core solution. And after that validation phase, after about 200 CISOs said, yeah, it's a great solution and I would buy that, we went with those validations into the funding round.
Okay, got it. And then for other founders listening, any lessons learned in that 6 million seed round that you'd like to share with other founders who may be considering or maybe at that stage and they're thinking about raising seed capital?
So first of all, go for it. That's the first one. If you validated the problem, if you validated your solution, go for it. And then maybe, other practical one is, again, continue to validate your solution, continue to learn from feedback, and not only from your customers. So when you are going into the funding round and meeting VCs, and if someone doesn't want to invest, try to understand why, try to understand what are you missing, and then improve that, and then go to the next VC. And if he doesn't want to invest, again, learn from it and improve that. With the same validation you are doing for your solution and learning from your customer how to build your solution, again, do the same with VCs and understand how to build your company. So I guess, again, validation and keep learning from feedback.
Yeah, great advice, great insight there. And then it's like at this stage of your business, do you have a favorite number or metric that you're focused on to manage the business?
Yeah, I mean, currently we are, ARR is our main one. And then we're also CAC, the usual SaaS metrics. Having, being only 1 years old, a bit more, but under 2 years. So ARR and CAC is our main one, lifetime value is, we don't have enough time to start, getting insights out of those, but mainly ARR and CAC.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense. So AR and CAC and AR are a very popular answer for that one. And then really appreciate your time today as we wrap up. Tell us what's coming up next for Entro.
Yeah, so we're actually expanding our product portfolio. So follow us, Entro Security, it's ENTRO Security. Follow us on LinkedIn and expect some great news because we are expanding our solution and bringing on new features.
That's great. Yeah. Always product to build, right? So really appreciate that. And if listeners would like to learn more about Entro Security, where should we send them online?
Yeah, it's Entro.security. Just look us up on Google or use your favorite browser and HTTPS Entro.security.
All right, perfect. So Google Entro Security or just go to intro.security and look up what Itzik is doing and how they're keeping your keys safe. So it's like really appreciate your time and sharing your insight and experience today.
Yeah, Ben.